Hey, have you ever trusted someone completely? I'm Liam, 28, from Georgia, and in June 2024, my girlfriend Chloe broke my heart. She cheated with her friend Emily and demanded I sleep on the couch so her buddies could move in rent-free. From a hidden affair to a bold lockout, watch this true infidelity story explode with betrayal and justice. It was a balmy June morning in 2024. The Georgia sun spilling golden rays through the lace curtains of the house my grandparents left me. I'm Liam, 28, and this 3-bedroom gem, oak floors gleaming, a creaky porch swing swaying in the breeze, was my haven. No mortgage, just the taxes and upkeep I handled with pride. Life had a steady rhythm, a quiet joy I'd carved out. Then, Chloe moved in a year ago. My girlfriend, 26, with that infectious laugh and hazel eyes that once lit up my world. No lease, no rent, just her car payment and a grocery split we worked out over beers. I figured love didn't need a contract. We were a team, building something real. I'd wake to the scent of her brewing coffee, watch her dance barefoot in the kitchen, humming off-key in my old flannel shirt. We'd share lazy breakfasts, pancakes with too much syrup, her teasing me about burning the bacon.
Weekends meant yard work together, her tossing a frisbee while I mowed, the air thick with Georgia pine. It felt like home, her little bubble. Until that morning shattered it. I was pouring my first cup, the rich aroma filling the room, when she sauntered in, phone glued to her hand. "Hey, great news," she chirped, not even looking up. "Emily and Grace are moving in." I froze, coffee sloshing over the counter, staining the wood. "Moving in? What the hell are you talking about?" I asked, my voice tightening with disbelief. She sighed, annoyed, finally meeting my eyes with a flicker of impatience. "With their stuff. Their lease is up into the month. Perfect timing." My stomach twisted. Emily and Grace, her loud freelancing pals always moaning about rent hikes. "Where are they staying?" I pressed, dread creeping up my spine. She waved it off, that bright, careless smile spreading. "The spare rooms. We'll grab some beds. They're broke, so rent-free for now. Just till they're back on their feet." The kitchen fell into a heavy silence, the coffee maker's final drip sounding like a gunshot. Rent-free? In my house, the place I'd inherited, poured sweat into. And us? I demanded, heart pounding. She tilted her head, sizing me up like I was a minor inconvenience. "You can take a spare room."
Wait, no, you're barely there anyway. Sleep on the couch. It's comfy enough. My couch? In my own damn house? The words hit like a freight train. I'd patched the roof in July heat, mowed the lawn under a blazing sun, and now I was being demoted to a guest? A chill ran through me. Her late-night texts, the way she dodged my gaze lately, I'd noticed her and Emily sharing private laughs, their whispers cutting off when I entered. Was it just her friends? Or was Emily the one pulling her away? I'd seen Chloe's phone light up at 2 a.m., her fingers flying over the screen. The woman I loved, the one who danced with me under those Georgia stars, was slipping. And I feared this betrayal ran deeper than a roommate's scheme. Looking back, those early days with Chloe feel like a warm memory I can still taste. I'm Liam, 28, from Georgia. We met 2 years ago at a friend's birthday bash down in Savannah. The night buzzed with life. Old country tunes crackling from a weathered speaker, the scent of barbecue hanging in the air. She was a burst of energy, twirling on the dance floor in a sundress, her hazel eyes catching the firelight like twin flames. I tripped over my own feet trying to keep up, and her laugh, full and free, hooked me right then. Our first real date was a weekend escape to Tybee Island.
We piled into my old truck, windows down, salt air whipping through as she sang off key to the radio. She dragged me to the shore and we built a lopsided sandcastle, her calling it our kingdom with a grin. I can still hear her squeal when the tide swept it away, her hands grabbing mine to rebuild. 6 months in, I asked her to move into my grandparents' house. It was a big step, but she fit right in, unpacking her sketchbooks and filling the place with her art.
Those first months were pure gold. We'd cook spaghetti in the kitchen, sauce splattering the walls like a Jackson Pollock painting, then collapse on the couch with a cold beer and a cheesy rom-com marathon. She'd nestle into my shoulder, her head heavy with dreams of opening her own design shop, sketching ideas on napkins late at night. I'd share my plans to turn my freelance graphic gig into a full studio, and we'd brainstorm logos over breakfast. We talked until the crickets took over, mapping out a future, maybe a dog, maybe more. Then came Mia, our scruffy terrier rescue with a tail that wagged like a metronome. Chloe fell hard for her, spending hours training her to sit, fetch, and even roll over with treats I'd sneak from the jar. I'd watch them play in the yard, her laughter blending with Mia's excited barks, the grass stained with their antics. We'd take evening walks, Mia trotting between us, her little paws kicking up dirt as the sun dipped low. It was our rhythm, a family forming, or so I thought. By late 2023, the cracks started creeping in. She'd come home late, phone buzzing like a swarm of bees, her excuse always dinner with the girls. But her smile was tight, her eyes avoiding mine. I'd catch her texting under the covers, the screen's blue glow painting her face, her fingers flying. "Who's that?" I asked one night, keeping my tone light. "Just Emily," she mumbled, shoving the phone under her pillow like a guilty secret. Emily again, her best friend, always lingering, always whispering. I let it slide at first, chalking it up to my own insecurity. But it kept happening. She'd cancel our movie nights, blaming work stress, yet her laptop stayed open with Discord tabs glowing. Mia would whine at her feet, tail drooping, and Chloe would wave her off with a distracted pat. I'd scoop Mia up, her trembling body pressing against my chest, and step outside for air. Those walks became my refuge. I'd toss her ball across the yard, her yips piercing the quiet. "Guess it's you and me, girl," I'd say, her ears perking as she bounded back. It was a small comfort, a shield against the growing distance. By spring 2024, her demands turned sharp. Clothes piled up on the floor, expecting me to play maid. "You're home more," she'd shrug, as if it justified everything. Her entitlement cut deeper, and I started wondering, was this love, or was I just a prop? I'd see her and Emily huddled in corners, their laughs halting when I approached, their heads bent over her phone. Late-night calls she'd take in the bathroom, her voice a low murmur behind the door. My gut screamed something was wrong. Those Tybee waves, that sandcastle kingdom, felt like a distant dream. The woman who danced with me under Georgia stars was slipping away, and I feared Emily or someone else was the cause. Her closeness with Emily, those secretive smiles, gnawed at me. The home we'd built was crumbling, and I didn't know how to stop it. The moment Chloe walked out that June morning in 2024, something inside me snapped like a dry twig. I'm Liam, 28, from Georgia, and her carefree "love ya" as she headed to brunch with Emily and Grace felt like a hollow echo. I stood in the kitchen, coffee growing cold in my hands, staring at the door she'd slammed shut with a grin. My house, my sanctuary, built on my grandparents' legacy, was about to be overrun. And I wasn't about to let that happen without a fight. I grabbed my phone, fingers trembling with a mix of rage and resolve. First call was to a 24-hour locksmith.
Yeah, I need an emergency rekey for my entire house. How soon can you get here? They promised 30 minutes, and I clung to that deadline like a lifeline. Next, I dialed a moving service, my voice steady despite the storm inside. I need a tenant's belongings packed and stored professionally, 3 months up front, paid in full. The click of the payment confirmation was a small victory.
The locksmith arrived right on time, his toolbox clanking as he set to work on the front door. I moved with a cold, mechanical focus, gathering Chloe's things. Her dresses from the closet, still smelling of her lavender perfume. The makeup scattered across the bathroom vanity, tubes and brushes in chaotic piles. Her laptop, adorned with quirky stickers, sat open on the desk, tempting me. I boxed up her ridiculous collection of scented candles, vanilla, sandalwood, jasmine, each one a reminder of nights she'd lit them for us. The movers arrived an hour later, their efficiency a stark contrast to the chaos in my head. They packed her chair, the little table she dragged in, even the framed photos of us from Tybee Island, her smile frozen in time. By 2 p.m., the house was a shell, empty of her presence. I took the storage unit key, slipped it into a clear plastic baggie with the receipt, and taped it securely to the front door, right over the handle where she couldn't miss it. The afternoon stretched on as I deep cleaned, the lemony scent of cleaner replacing her candles. The silence was deafening, but it felt like a reclaiming. I knew the backlash was coming, and I braced myself. The first text arrived at 4 p.m. "Hey, the key isn't working. Did you lock the deadbolt or something?" I didn't respond, my thumb hovering over the screen. 5 minutes later, my phone rang, her voicemail crackling with irritation. "Liam, I'm outside with Emily and Grace. We've got a car full of stuff. What's wrong with the door? Call me back now." The texts kept flooding in, each one sharper than the last. "Liam, this isn't funny. Open the door. My phone's dying. The girls are losing it." Then the calls started. Emily's shrill voice, Grace's demands. I let them go to voicemail, the notifications piling up like a digital avalanche. By 6 p.m., the tone turned desperate. "What did you do? There's a U-Haul receipt taped to the door. A storage unit? Are you serious?" My phone lit up with voicemails, a barrage of anger and panic. I switched it to silent and sank onto the couch, my couch, finally feeling the weight of my decision. The quiet was a strange kind of peace, but I knew the storm was just beginning. That night, unable to shake the unease, I checked her laptop again, left open in her haste. A Discord notification blinked, a message from Emily. I clicked it, my heart pounding. The words hit like a punch, flirty banter, intimate promises. My blood ran cold as I scrolled through weeks of chats. Chloe and Emily, more than friends. The late-night whispers, the private laughs, it all made sense. She'd been cheating, and this roommate scheme was her cover to escape with Emily. I sat there, the house empty around me, the weight of her betrayal sinking in. The woman I'd loved had chosen someone else, using my home as a staging ground. My resolve hardened like concrete. This wasn't just about the couch, it was about taking back what was mine. The silence in my Georgia home lasted until 4 p.m. that June day in 2024. I'm Liam, 28, and the calm after packing Chloe's things felt like the eye of a hurricane. I sat on my couch, the storage unit key taped to the door, a silent declaration, waiting for the storm to hit. The first text buzzed through. Chloe, "Hey, the key isn't working. Did you lock the deadbolt?" I didn't reply, my thumb hovering over the screen, heart steady but heavy. 5 minutes later, my phone rang, her voicemail crackling with irritation. "Liam, I'm outside with Emily and Grace. We've got a car full of stuff. What's wrong with the door? call me back now." The texts poured in, each one sharper. "Liam, this isn't funny. Open the door. My phone's dying. The girls are losing it." I let the notifications stack up, a digital wall of her frustration. Then the calls started. Emily's shrill voice first, then Grace's demanding tone. I ignored them, the ringing a relentless drumbeat against my resolve. By 6 p.m., the tone shifted to panic. "Chloe, what did you do? There's a U-Haul receipt on the door. A storage unit? Are you serious?" My phone lit up like a Christmas tree, voicemails piling with accusations. I switched it to silent and leaned back, the quiet wrapping around me like armor. But the real chaos began the next morning. I woke to over 50 missed calls and a flood of texts painting a vivid picture. Chloe, Emily, and Grace had driven back to their old apartment, already vacated, stuck sleeping in the U-Haul with their junk. That afternoon, I finally answered Chloe's call, needing to hear her out. Her voice exploded through the speaker. "Liam, you psychopath! You threw me out! You threw out all my things!" "I didn't throw anything out," I cut in, calm but firm. "Your stuff's in a climate-controlled storage unit. I paid for 3 months. The key's on the door."
She sputtered. "You can't just kick me out. We live together." "I live here," I corrected. "You were a guest who tried to move 2 others in and demote me to the couch. I declined your new terms." A muffled shuffle, then Emily's voice took over. "Liam, you little prick, you can't do this. We have rights." "What rights?" I shot back. "The right to live in my house for free? Tell your lawyer that." Emily snapped. "We'll sue for illegal eviction." "Go ahead," I said. "Tell them your friend, who paid no rent and has no legal claim, was asked to leave after her stunt. See how that goes." I could hear Grace yelling in the background, calling me a toxic monster. Chloe came back, voice breaking. "I can't believe you did this. I have nowhere to go. My friends have nowhere to go. You're making us homeless." "That's your problem to solve. You were so sure of your plan yesterday. Figure it out."
She sobbed, "But I love you." "No, you don't," I said, my voice steady. "You love what I provide. You assumed I'd roll over. You miscalculated." I hung up, the line going dead. Their entitlement fueled my resolve. 3 days later, the doorbell rang. I checked the camera. Chloe, drunk and disheveled, with Emily and Grace as their backup. "Open the door, Liam," she slurred. "I need my things. Some stuff's missing. My grandmother's locket." "I didn't touch your jewelry," I said through the intercom. "The Packers inventoried everything. It's in storage." Emily shouted, "Open it, you coward, or we'll call the cops." Grace rattled the handle, then kicked the door, leaving a scuff. I sighed. "Call them. I'd love to explain." They left, their threats fading into the dusk. The next day, 2 officers showed up for a welfare check. I stayed calm, showing them Chloe's texts and the door scuff. They sighed, unimpressed. "Looks like she tried to move in uninvited and you locked her out. We're done here." But the real battle moved online. Olivia/Emily and Marie/Grace launched a smear campaign. Vague posts about toxic masculinity and a wolf in sheep's clothing. Chloe played the victim, crying in comments, "I don't know what I did to deserve this." It stung, but it also steeled me. Their lies wouldn't define me.
The smear campaign online that June in 2024 lit a fire under me that refused to die. I'm Liam, 28, from Georgia, and Chloe's crocodile tears, Emily's venomous rants, and Grace's manipulative posts weren't just noise. They were a gauntlet thrown down. I wasn't about to let their fabrications tarnish my name. If they wanted to wage war, I'd fight back with a precision they'd never see coming. That evening, I barricaded myself in my office, the low hum of my laptop a steady pulse in the quiet. My phone still vibrated with their endless messages, but I silenced it, focusing on the task ahead. This wasn't about yelling, it was about outsmarting them. I started with Chloe's job. She worked in marketing for a tech firm that prided itself on its woke ethos, integrity and authenticity plastered across their site. Her LinkedIn profile was a billboard of those buzzwords, a perfect target. I built a digital arsenal, screenshots of her original text, Emily and Grace are moving in, you sleep on the couch, sat alongside their smear posts. I captured every like, every comment, mapping the reach of their lies. The police report from the welfare check, stamped unfounded, went in next. The doorbell video, Grace's kick leaving a scuff, Emily's shrill demands was the knockout punch.
I crafted an email, polite but lethal, to the HR head at Chloe's company. A matter of professional integrity concerning your employee Chloe. Her public defamation campaign undermines your brand's values. Attached is a timeline of her actions, including the initial text and subsequent harassment. I attached the folder zip tight and hit send, the first domino falling. Next, I turned to Emily. A quick dive into public records and her tagged Instagram posts revealed her old apartment's management company. I sent a detailed email warning about former tenants, attaching the video of her door assault and screenshots of their failed squat attempt. For Grace, the wannabe influencer, I targeted 5 brands she'd tagged: a local boutique, a coffee roaster, a skincare line, a craft brewery, and a vegan snack brand. FYI, this is the individual using your name, I wrote, including the full evidence pack. The wait was agonizing, but the payoff was worth it. 3 weeks later, a mutual friend slipped me the news. Chloe was on administrative leave, her company launching an internal probe. A month after, the hammer dropped. She was fired for breaching their social media policy. Her lies, once a liability, cost her the career she flaunted.
Emily's fate unfolded slower. Her Instagram rant about unfair landlords hinted at a blacklist. Property managers sharing my warning had shut her out of decent rentals. Grace's influencer dreams shattered when the boutique posted a subtle dig. We partner with creators who embody positivity and honesty. She went private, her follower count tanking, her brand a ghost. The ripple effects were a quiet triumph. Chloe's company issued a vague statement about conduct issues, while Emily and Grace's online presence faded. One evening, Chloe emailed from a new address, a rambling mix of blame, "You ruined my life," and "Please, I have nothing left. Can't we talk?" She added a weak apology. "I know I messed up, but this is too much." I archived it, my heart steady. The house stayed silent, a victory I could breathe in. Their choices, broadcast online, had built their own gallows. I didn't revel in it, but the weight of their entitlement lifted. This wasn't just about the couch, it was about reclaiming my dignity. A friend texted, "You okay? Heard Chloe's a mess." I replied, "Better than ever." The next day, I noticed a delivery truck, new furniture for the spare rooms. One became a home gym, the other a guest space for people I chose. I tossed the old couch, replacing it with something I'd picked myself. The quiet wasn't just peace, it was power. Their fall was their doing. I just held up the mirror.
It's June 8th, 2025, 7:39 a.m., and I'm standing on the back porch of my Georgia home, the morning mist clinging to the grass. I'm Liam, 28, and for the first time in a year, I feel the weight of Chloe's betrayal lift like a fog burning off. The house, my grandparents' legacy, stands quiet and whole again. Mia, my scruffy terrier, bounds around the yard, her tail a blur as she chases a butterfly. Her joy is a balm after the storm. The fallout from last June feels like a distant echo. Chloe's firing, Emily's blacklist, Grace's faded influence, all dominoes I'd set in motion. I didn't revel in it, but the silence that followed was a victory I could taste. The spare rooms, once slated for her friends, are mine now. One's a home gym with weights I've been lifting to clear my head. The other's a guest room, freshly painted, waiting for people I actually want around. I sold the old couch months ago, replacing it with a sleek leather one I picked myself. The house feels lighter, a space reclaimed. Work steadied too. I've taken on fewer clients, letting my freelance gig breathe, focusing on projects that spark joy, not stress. One afternoon at the hardware store, I overheard a clerk muttering about Chloe. "She's back, struggling to find work after that mess." I felt a pang, but no satisfaction.
Her email from months back still sits in my archive. "You ruined my life. Can't we talk?" A plea wrapped in blame. I didn't reply, but it stirred something. Not guilt, but a need to move forward. That's when I met Nora, a carpenter I hired to fix the porch railing. She's in her 30s, all grit and quiet humor, with a knack for woodwork. We started chatting over coffee breaks, her stories about restoring old homes mirroring my own journey. It's not love, not yet, just a friendship that feels solid. She came by last week, helping me sand the railing, her laugh mixing with Mia's barks. It was the first time I smiled without forcing it. I've been inviting her over more, our talks stretching into evenings on the porch. Mia's grown attached too, curling up by Nora's feet as we plan a garden bed. Those moments, simple, real, chip away at the hurt. I've started woodworking again, a hobby Chloe called pointless. Last night, I finished a cedar coffee table, the grain smooth under my hands. It's for the living room, a symbol of starting fresh.
The online storm has quieted. Chloe's posts vanished. Emily's rants faded. Grace's accounts went silent. A friend texted, "Heard Chloe's crashing with family, blaming you." I shrugged it off. Their choices built their ruin. I just held up the mirror. This morning, I sat with Mia on the porch, her head in my lap as I sipped coffee. The sun climbed higher, casting long shadows across the yard. I thought about the past year, the couch debacle, the lockout, the fight. It tested me, but it also taught me. Betrayal can shake you to your core, but it doesn't have to break you. You can take back control, rebuild on your terms. If this hit home, subscribe for more stories of heartbreak and triumph. Drop a comment. Have you faced a betrayal like this? I'd love to hear. Hit that bell, and I'll catch you next time.